When Australia declared war against Germany on the 3rd of September 1939, neither our political nor service leaders envisaged a time when Australian women would be called upon to volunteer as members of the Australian Commonwealth Military Forces. In 1941, the women's services were formed, and I chose to join the Army, or AWAS, Australian Women's Army Service. My dad was Army, and in 1942, with the fall of Singapore, he was missing in action, presumed prisoner of war. I was posted to the Tuost Army Headquarters, Command Paymaster's office, which was encamped at Frankston. Because I lived very close in Bonn Beach, I was billeted at home, which pleased my mother because I was issued with extra food coupons and a living at home allowance. Having previously worked at the Australian Women's Weekly, I knew enough about office procedure to work as an operator of a small switchboard in the headquarters. In 1943, my handsome boyfriend and I married in St Patrick's Cathedral in Melbourne with a short honeymoon to Wangaratta. A few weeks later, on an evening out with my mother, she told me that instead of seeing a film, we had to go to South Melbourne Police Station. It was here, I was told, that it had been discovered that my husband had already been married, had fathered 2 children. He had married me bigamously. I thank God for my mother. She was the spirit of love and gentleness at this time. Although an illegal marriage, the church held it to be binding, as his first marriage was not to a Catholic and in a church, as was ours. To me, it was a shattering time. Later that same year, I was transferred to SALT, the authorised journal of the Australian Army Education. SALT published original poetry, stories and artwork from serving members of the armed forces. Called SALT because salt is an essential to life and the symbol of honour and friendship. Also, since salt was to be distributed among 1 in 3, all ranks, and passed from hand to hand, it was considered that pass the salt was appropriate. Then the war was over. Dad came home and he was well. In January 1946, I received my 3rd stripe. I was now a sergeant and I married again, this time to an ex-prisoner of war who had served with Dad. There was the promise of better things to come. After all, I had just turned 22.